the victims of Epstein have lived with trauma that most of us can barely comprehend. And they've had to relive it again and again. They have seen accountability delayed and too often denied. To them, I want to say this: I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him. And sorry that even now you're forced to watch this story unfold in public once again. But I also want to say this: in this country, we will not look away. We will not shrug our shoulders, and we will not allow the powerful to treat justice as optional. To learn that there was a cabinet minister leaking sensitive information at the height of the response to the 2008 crash is beyond infuriating. And I am as angry as the public and any member of this House. Mandelson betrayed our country, our Parliament and my party. Mr. Speaker, he lied repeatedly to my team when asked about his relationship with Epstein before and during his tenure as ambassador. I regret appointing him. If I knew then what I know now, he would never have been anywhere near government. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the Cabinet Secretary, with my support, took the decision to refer material to the police. And there is now a criminal investigation. And just to be clear, to vote to release something that would prejudice national security is wrong in principle. The second exemption is in relation to things that would prejudice international relations. There will be discussions about security and intelligence and trade, which are highly sensitive to the two countries involved and to third countries. Well, they have to ask themselves whether they want to vote to prejudice our national security. I don't think they do. I don't think, in fairness, that they do. But can I reassure the House, Mr. Speaker? Let me reassure the House that the process for deciding what falls into those categories will not be a political process. It will be led by the Cabinet Secretary, supported by government legal teams. So they will be looking at the question of prejudice. They will be making that decision.
But don't think this scandal is just another political scandal. It isn't just sort of Partygate, but a bit bigger. No, this involves sex, it involves money, it involves the royal family, it involves the leaking of market-sensitive, confidential information. I suspect it's pretty close, in many ways, to breaching the Official Secrets Act. This is far bigger than the Profumo scandal of 60 years ago. This is the biggest scandal in British politics for over 1 century. And I would predict pretty confidently, I said this yesterday, but I stick by it, I'd predict that Morgan McSweeney, the chief advisor, will be gone pretty quickly. I don't know how long Starmer will last as Prime Minister. Indeed, I'm very worried about it. I want him to stay forever. Well, when I say forever, I mean until May the 7th, when we have the elections in Wales, Scotland, London, and around the rest of the country. That's what I'd like to see.
当前国际形势变乱交织，中英两国作为联合国安理会常任理事国和世界的主要经济体，无论是维护世界和平稳定，还是促进两国的经济民生，都需要加强对话和合作。你这次来访受到了高度的关注，只要是符合国家和人民根本利益的正确的事情，领导人就当事不避难，勇往直前，风物长宜放眼量。只要我们秉持大历史观，超越分歧，相互尊重，就能交得出经得起历史检验的答卷。
President Xi, as you have said, this is the first visit by a UK Prime Minister in 8 years. To my mind, that's been far too long. I'm delighted that I have a very strong delegation with me. We have nearly 60 great British businesses and cultural organisations travelling with us. What they want and what I want is to grow and expand in China. I've long been clear that the UK and China need a long-term, consistent and comprehensive strategic partnership. China is a vital player on the global stage, and it's vital that we build a more sophisticated relationship. As we engage constructively, I have made my position clear on our principles and values. The first of those is that the future of Greenland is for the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone. The second is that threats of tariffs to pressurise allies are completely wrong. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to engage constructively. I've had many international calls in recent days, and the Prime Minister of Denmark is coming to the United Kingdom tomorrow for bilateral talks. But I do want to be clear with the House. I will not yield, Britain will not yield on our principles and values about the future of Greenland under threats of tariffs. And that is my clear position.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very glad to hear the Prime Minister say that. We all know that the people of Greenland do not want to be ruled by America. But does he agree that just as those in Greenland should decide their own future, so should the Chagossians?
Mr. Speaker, I've made out my position on Greenland absolutely clear on Monday and a moment ago. President Trump deployed words on Chagos yesterday that were different to his previous words of welcome and support when I met him in the White House. He deployed those words yesterday for the express purpose of putting pressure on me and Britain in relation to my values and principles on the future of Greenland. Mr. Speaker, he wants me to yield on my position, and I'm not going to do so.
we still have 12,000 people a year here being arrested for social media posts, for free speech violations. Does that not remain an important area that there is still a lot of disagreement on?
I'd like to have you answer that.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of a Christian country, I was christened, so that is, my church has been all my life, and we are, that is wired into our informal constitution. Of course, we celebrate many other faiths as well, and I'm really proud that we're able to do so as a country. And on free speech, that has long lived in this country, free speech. It's one of the founding values of the United Kingdom, and we protect it jealously and fiercely, and always will, and we will bear down on any limits on free speech.
Декларацію про наміри між Україною, Французькою Республікою та Сполученим Королівством Великої Британії та Північної Ірландії щодо розгортання багатонаціональних сил на підтримку оборони, відбудови та стратегічної стійкості України підписують від України президент України Володимир Зеленський, від Французької Республіки президент Французької Республіки Еммануель Макрон, від Великої Британії прем'єр-міністр Великої Британії Кір Стармер.
Declaration of intent between the French Republic, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and Ukraine relating to the deployment of multinational forces in support of the defense, reconstruction and strategic sustainability of Ukraine. Signatory for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Sir Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Signatory for the French Republic, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. Signatory for Ukraine, Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine.
Merci beaucoup. Nous allons procéder maintenant à la conférence de presse.
Вдячні всім. Переходимо до етапу прес-конференції.
But yesterday, he announced that Britain and France had signed, he says, a political agreement to put troops on the ground in the event of a peace deal in Ukraine. So given the Prime Minister is not making a statement about that deployment of British troops abroad, one of the most serious decisions a government and a parliament can take, irrespective of what he says, can he at least confirm how many troops would be sent to Ukraine and whether they would be in a combat role?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I was with NATO allies yesterday, all day, in which we were discussing security in Europe, in particularly security guarantees for Ukraine, and we made significant progress. And I'm glad that she has welcomed that. Of course, I will speak to President Trump. I spoke to his senior advisors yesterday. We were with them all day. But Mr. Speaker, she asked me about the deployment. We released the statement yesterday. It's clear from that, but I will be clear with the House that there would only be deployment after a ceasefire. It would be to support Ukraine's capabilities. It would be to conduct deterrence operations and to construct and protect military hubs.
Mr. Speaker, it is clear that the Prime Minister either does not have the detail or does not want to give us the detail. Yes. But this is important. He should be calling an urgent meeting of NATO leaders. He should have spoken to President Trump by now. This is important because if any such peace deal is breached, we would be in direct conflict with Russia. If the Prime Minister is committing troops, he must give more detail on how he intends to ensure our armed forces are fully resourced.
Working with the US, this coalition is determined to go further than ever to ratchet up the pressure on Putin, from the battlefield to his war economy, because that is the only way to change his mind and push him back to the table. And in our meeting this afternoon, we came together around a clear plan for the rest of this year. First, we will act to take Russian oil and gas off the global market. Last week, the UK became the first country to sanction all of Russia's oil majors. On Wednesday, the US acted decisively to join us, together with further sanctions from the EU. And we're choking off funding for Russia's war machine. And I'm urging others to take these steps too. So I call again for restraint and de-escalation at the border between Lebanon and Israel. Again, all parties to pull back from the brink. I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages, and a recommitment to the two-state solution.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.